Painting with the Purpose Friends. Today we are going to paint this adorable fluffy puppy dog. The colors you will need are red, white, black, purple, and this is called pool blue if you go to the store and ask for it. You can mix white and dark blue and make a light blue or a teal blue. Really, it's up to you. And actually you can change these colors. You know, if you want to paint the dog like your dog and you have a tan and white dog, you can change the gray to tan and have a tan and white dog. You can change your border color. You can change your background color. You can change your bandana color. It is completely up to you if you want to paint one exactly like mine or if you want to put your own spin on it. You will also need your bigger flat brush, your medium round, and your small round. Make sure you have your cloth handy and your cup of water. All right, to get started on your tray, I've mixed the gray because my doggy's gonna be gray. I actually have a black Pomeranian, so we're gonna make my doggy gray, just like the one that I've already painted. And you'll need a plain white, a plain black, there's my teal, my red, and my purple. So to get started, whatever color you're going to be using for your border, that's the color you're going to start with. So I'm going to start with red, and I'm going to start with my big wide brush. And this is so super easy. You're just going to take your brush, and the width of your brush is going to be the width of your border. You're just going to run your brush all the way down. Start running out of paint, get some more paint, and continue. This is the width of your border. So the width of your flat brush is the width of your border, and it gives it character if your line is not completely straight. And you're going to do that across the top. Make sure you do your edges, and then you're going to do it down the other side as well. You do not need to do your band across the bottom because your puppy dog will pretty much fill this whole bottom space. Once you have your border done, you're going to rinse the red off of your brush. Go ahead and wipe it and try to get all that red out. If you're doing a blue background and you still have red on your paintbrush, you're liable to end up with purple. Now you're just going to come in here and you're going to do your blue. And you can paint it up and down. I'm going to go side to side. All right, now we have to wait for our background to dry, and then I can go back in and I can touch up some of this area over here and the top area with red. Now that our background is dry, I am going to go back over the red and kind of fill in those white spaces and overlap it just slightly. All right, go ahead and rinse that brush. We're going to keep using this for just a second to draw. We're gonna dip it in the white, just the edge of it. You don't need a lot of paint on there because we're drawing. And in the center, we're gonna draw a little upside down U. So like an N. You're going to go just below the halfway point, and this is going to be his belly. All right, go ahead and paint his belly in. Now we're going to, you don't have to wipe your brush, we're going to take our gray and just get a little bit of gray on there, and we're going to draw his shoulders, and they come almost all the way to the red. They're going to go up above the white, so it's just mimicking that white arch. Wipe the gray off. You don't have to rinse your brush, just wipe it. And now we're going to do a white circle for his head. So it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. We're gonna fix it when we add the fluffiness, but we just need a guideline. So I'm gonna start about 1.5 inches to 2 inches from my red border. And it's going to cross down over the gray, touching the white belly, and back up. Now go ahead and paint in his head white. And we're going to paint his body gray. You don't have to wipe your brush. You're just going to cut in next to his belly and around his head. On both sides. My blue is still a little wet at the bottom. All right, Once you have the head painted, the belly painted, and the body painted, you are finished with your big flat brush and you can set it in your water. We are going to be using your medium round brush, and we're going to dip it in the gray. And your doggy needs a little tail, so we're going to draw his tail in gray, and it's going to kind of come off to the left hand side. You can give him a super fluffy tail. And it just kind of blends in with his body. Now let's add some of that fluffiness to his body. So it's super easy to do with this round brush. You're just going to come off of that edge and add some little lines. You're going to do that same thing on this side. So just come off of that edge and add some little fluff lines. And we're going to define these at the very end. Alright, now our doggy needs some cute little fluffy ears. So same brush, same gray paint. Decide where you want the ears. So my ear is going to start about right here, and it's just going to come down and come into his head. And I'm going to fill that in. If you get on the white, it's fine. We're going to give him some white fluff around his face, so you will probably cover that line right up. There's one ear. I'm going to do another ear. Fill that in. Make this ear a little fluffier. All right, now with your black, just a little bit of black, not a lot of black. Black goes a long way. Just a little tip of black on there. We're gonna add some black through our dog. Maybe he is a little darker gray, or maybe he got into something and he's a little dirty. I know if I don't watch my dog and make sure that my dog has his electric fence collar on, he can sometimes get into things. And if it's too much black, you can fix it by going over with gray. You're going to do that same thing through his tail. And his ears. Once you have that finished, rinse your brush, get all that gray off, and we're going to go to the white. So same brush, just the white. Let's add some fluff on the top of his head. just working right along that edge. Don't get into your gray ears just yet because they are still wet and they'll start to mix. So we've added some fluff on top of his head. Now we are going to add some white fluff around his belly. If your gray is still really wet and you start picking up the gray, just wipe your brush and get white back on it. But it should be pretty dry right around that edge. And you're going to do the same thing down the other side of his belly. Just adding some fluff right along that drawing line that we did. And we're going to go back in and add just a smidge of white through his ears. So not a lot, just a little bit, a little highlight spots through his ears, a little highlight spots through his body. If you get too much white, go over it with the gray. All right, well now we have to add fluff around his face. And we're going to stop here at the shoulders. We add the fluff around the neck after we put his bandana on. So go ahead, you're still using that same medium round brush, and the fluff overlaps his ears. So it kind of comes down and in front of his ears. And if your gray is still too wet, you might want to wait just a little bit longer to make sure that it is good and dry. And you're going to do that same thing with the other side. All right, go ahead and wipe your round brush. We are going to wait for our dog to dry before we finish his face and his bandana. I think my doggy is good and dry, so we're going to do the bandana. My bandana is purple. You can make your bandana any color you want. So use your favorite color. Maybe you're going to give this to a friend. Use your friend's favorite color. It's completely up to you. You're going to draw a line underneath where his head touches his shoulders and his belly. Just like so. And all the bandana is it's like a triangle. So there's the bottom of our triangle. And then it just comes down. And it curves at the end and goes up to the other side. And then you're just going to fill that in. And I'm going to go in and add just a little bit of white through here. Didn't wipe my brush or anything, just dipped it a little bit in the white. Now we have to make our little knot tie on the right hand side. So to do that, you're just going to do a circle right on his shoulder fill that in. And then the little tie parts are kind of like teardrop shapes. So it starts at the top, and then you're just going to do one more kind of down here at the bottom and fill that in. And I am going to add just a little bit of white to that as well. All right, once you are finished with that, go ahead and put your medium brush in the water. We will use it again, but we're gonna switch to our little skinny round brush, our small round brush, and we're gonna start on his face. So you'll need black for his nose. His nose is kind of like an egg shape, only it's a little flatter on the top side than it is the bottom side. I just stuck my hand in my bandana. Be careful, your bandana is wet. Don't put your hand in it. And at the top, it's a little flatter at the top. And then it's a little more round. At the bottom. You can give him a big nose. You can give him a smaller nose. It's completely up to you. We're just finishing filling in his nose. We're going to do his eyes. His eyes are ovals as well. They're just kind of turned the opposite way, and they are a lot smaller. So same brush, same black paint, and I'm going to hold it a little bit closer so it's easier for me and easier for you to see. There's one eye. Fix this one just a little bit. All right. Oops. There are his cute little eyes. And let's go ahead and do some outlining while the rest of our bandana dries. So with that same black brush, you're going to just outline his fur. On the bottom, on his tail, ears. On the top of his head. All right, before we do any more outlining, get that medium round brush, and we're gonna add some color to his belly and to his face. So your white may be really dry, and if it should be really dry actually, but if it's too dry to work with, I'll show you how to make it a little, to put more paint on there. So we're just gonna add some gray through here, and then we're gonna go back over that gray with some white. And we're going to do the same thing to his face. So when we do his face though, we want to work from the center out. So you're just going to add some gray, look like making his face look like a firework. And then you're going to go back in over that gray with your white. Be careful not to get into the black at the top. We're going to go ahead and add our little fluffy spot around his eye. Again, this is optional if you want to add a spot around his eye. It's completely up to you. Maybe I'll switch eyes and I'll do a gray spot around the right eye. And I'm not getting real close to the eye yet. I'm just kind of pulling from the out. Don't want to mess up his eye. Now I'm going to go back in and cut in around his eye. Alright, I'm going to wipe that gray off, and we have to add his fluffy chin down here. So get your white. You didn't need to rinse your brush, just wipe it. And we're going to add some fluff down here that hangs over that bandana. The same way that you added the fluff around the rest of it. Now, if your bandana is still wet, you're going to want to wait until it dries, Mine's a little, I can see I'm picking up some of the purple. It's not bad. You can also grab a blow dryer and that will help dry things faster. Once you've added your little triangular fluff down here at the bottom, blend it in over that line. We are going to continue outlining in black. So grab your small paintbrush again, and we have to outline the edges where it touches his ear in black. On both sides. And the white that we just did down here, we're going to outline. And then we are going to outline a little bit of the black around the eye. So there's really no rhyme or reason as to how you do this, and I'll pull it closer again so you can see. But you're just adding some little lines, little triangles around those gray edges. Like so. And we have to outline his bandana and his belly fluff. So his bandana, and then his knot gets outlined, the tie part gets outlined, and the belly fluff. And he needs a cute little, I missed this part right here. He needs a cute little puppy smile. So to do the puppy smile that I have, it's just a slight smile going from the center out to the right hand side, and then from about a quarter of a way into that smile that you just did, you're gonna start and go to the left. And there you have your cute little fluffy dog. Don't forget to sign the bottom. Remember, you can change your background colors, you can change your bandana colors, you can change your puppy colors. If you want to keep painting with us, please check out our YouTube page and subscribe so that we continue to bring you lots of fun things to paint. Happy painting!